You are Locked On Eagles POSTCAST, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, for the fans of 80s television shows, bad 80s television shows, 8 is not enough, Harry. It is 9 in a row. That was a reach, huh?
You said the same thing last week.
I'm stuck on the joke, Harry.
Oh, my
and
God.
I'm
It's a bad one. That was a bad TV show.
It's a bad TV show. Bad tease by me. It is the Locked On Eagles POSTCAST. As the Eagles win 9 straight, we're going to break it down stem to stern. This episode brought to you by Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com and you can / Locked On NFL and use the code all lowercase Locked On NFL to win $50 instantly when you play $5. Well, let's go to you, Harry. Right out of the gate, your instant reaction. It was not pretty, but I don't even care that it wasn't pretty. I was expecting one of these, and I thought maybe it could be a slip up and maybe not a win, but it's a win and you'll take it.
Yeah, the Eagles were sleepwalking today, I felt, especially early on. Once again, they get out of the gate slow. They've scored 17 points in the first quarter all season long, which is at the bottom of the league.
31st in the NFL.
Which has yet to really bite them. But it's just something that I just can't sort of forget about because they're going to be playing good teams once the playoffs start. And you get out to a slow start in the playoffs, that's a different story. So, but we'll deal with that when it comes. But yeah, you're gonna have ugly games. You're gonna have ugly wins in the NFL, and you kind of figured today would be one of those against a bad team. It comes in here 3-9. I know they've kind of gotten their legs a little bit of late, and they do look like they're getting better. Like their quarterback looks like he's getting a little bit better. They just absolutely have no weapons at all. They in the NFL, in order to win, you've got to have splash play ability. Like you've got to have game break. You got to have a guy like an A.J. Brown, or a running back that can go 80 yards, to the house like the Eagles have. And they just have none of it in Carolina. The quarterback he's dealing with kind of a limited deck. He's learning as he's going, but they've got nobody. Their best player outside at the wideout position is a 34-year-old possession receiver with his best days behind him with the Minnesota Vikings in Adam Thielen, and he was a third down machine today and really schooled Cooper DeJean on a couple of these routes. And he's very cagey. He's really good, and he catches anything in his zip code. But they just have nothing that can break. I mean, the kid will get. I mean, how do you not catch that football?
Oh, it's dropped in there beautifully.
Honestly, that guy's a first-round pick. He stinks.
Yeah, that's inexcusable if you're that team. Like your first round pick can't drop that pass in that spot.
First of all, he hardly ever gets open. Now he finally gets beyond the defense and he's got a touchdown and he drops it.
He's a load, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a load, but I mean, you got to catch the ball or the load doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But we got a problem now. I think this is now a full-on problem with the kicker. And I'm talking about Jake Elliot, not the Carolina kicker who missed a PAT today. This is a problem.
5 from 50, right?
Yes, he's 0 for 5 from 50 plus. Missed another one today, and then they shied away from kicking one that would have been about 53 yards because they just have no confidence in him right now. And that's a big deal when the calendar turns to January. So we got to keep our eye on that. And the quarterback, I know he didn't turn the ball over today, but he made a couple of bonehead plays late in that game with the delay of game and then second down, he's running back. First of all, why weren't they handing the ball off and just running the football? They're trying to throw the ball on second down. Carolina, I think, might have blitzed or something. They caught him, and he just lays down for a 12-yard loss or whatever it was. I don't understand the guy sometimes. Throw it away.
Yeah, just get outside the pocket and toss it into the sideline.
Yeah, and then he compounds it with the delay of game shortly thereafter, and you're just like, "What? Is he all here today?"
I felt like there was a lack of engagement across the board today.
They were sleepwalking.
Yeah, like the 8 games prior, it was like attention to detail, right?
Right.
And quality control. Today was kind of like, we're gonna beat this team because we're more talented, right? And sometimes that'll bite you in the NFL. Now, they got away with it. You hope they did. You hope that they don't go, well, look, we got away. We can do that again.
Yeah.
I think they got to get coached really hard this week. But again, to your point, I thought some of the coaching decisions were a little shoddy today too. especially in the second half where you've owned your opposition by running the ball. And Saquon becomes the all-time Eagles leading rusher already this season. He's just, again, been an absolute animal. And I just didn't like some of the calls today. I'm not going to freak out about it. I'll save that for the dimwits on sports radio to do.
Yeah. No, but, there's something to be concerned with here. I mean, they gave up 2 long drives to this team with, like I've been saying, no weapon. They got a decent running back. Yeah. Okay. But other than that, they really got nothing. And they held the ball for almost 8 minutes on 2 drives that ended in touchdowns against the Eagles.
Yeah.
That worries me.
Like, yeah, I mean, as much
they
as
converted a lot
Fangio.
of third downs. They converted a lot of third downs. And, I think they had 5 first downs on that one drive, on the first drive. I wrote it down here somewhere. But you're just like, how are they allowing this team to just click off yards and continue to move the chains when they've really got nobody that scares you?
Yeah, they had 11 passing first downs.
Yeah.
7 rushing first downs. It's unbelievable. I mean, I was stunned. Vic Fangio's done such a good job today. They just didn't. They just felt like nobody was dialed in today, which is a shame because it was. I mean, like Harry, when you woke up today and saw the weather, there's no way you didn't play 18 this morning because it's beautiful out.
No, I didn't actually.
This is beautiful.
Yeah, I know. It's beautiful
weather.
But it was a 1:00 game. I'm not playing before that. So
all right. Well, I mean,
but anyway,
go back. I want to go back to your point about Jake Elliott because it's a good thing they didn't shorten the field there because they might have lost this game had they not. They get the punt, and Avante Maddox gets down there and grounds it at like the 3-yard line.
Yeah, Braden Mann, once again, he did it last week and was named Special Teams Player of the Week. We made mention of it last week in that game with how good he is at putting the ball. And this has kind of been a lost art in the NFL. This is back in the 70s and 80s and even into the 90s. There were several punters throughout the league that could really pin you deep.
The coffin corner.
The coffin corner. Ray Guy was the guy who really, kind of took it to another level with the Raiders way back in the day. And then there were several others. But it kind of became a lost art. And this guy seems to be bringing it back because he's been putting it inside the 5. And Maddox, you mentioned, made a great play getting down there. Maddox was used all over the place today because of injuries, but made a really nice play and pinned him deep. And you're thinking, all right, they got to go 90-some yards.
Yeah, no
with
chance.
Really no weapon, no ability to stretch the field. How are they going to do this? Well, what was it, 3rd and 11 or something? And he's running around in the end zone, almost got sacked for a safety, and finds Thielen. I think it was. Wasn't it?
It was Thielen again.
They get once again, and they get out of it. And the next thing you know, they got a chance to score.
After he had an illegal forward pass and went half the distance too.
Right.
And I thought the safety was on there. I mean, they just closed in on him. I thought he was fun. Bryce Young was fun to watch.
Yeah, he was.
He was a little scattered. Look, he's got probably a lot to learn.
Yeah.
But there might be something there with him if they can get him some more weapons. But yeah, I mean, I'm thinking 97, no chance. And then as they start moving down the field, I'm just thinking, oh no, Kirk Cousins, Atlanta, all over again.
Right.
And I'm going, oh no, are they going to cough this one up?
Yeah.
Well, thank God they didn't.
But like we were talking about the defense, though, allowing these long drives, 14 plays, 7 minutes and 41 seconds. They cranked off 5 first downs that ended in a touchdown, the one to Trimble, the tight end. And then they had another one that was 12 plays, 7 minutes and 52 seconds. Yeah. Man, that's a long time.
To be sitting on the sideline for your offense.
Yeah, to be driving on this defense. You're like, man, it's a little concerning. That and the kicking situation is a little concerning for me today. Even though they've won 9 straight now. What are they, 11-2?
Yeah.
That's significant.
Keep pace with Detroit, who won the other night on that field goal against the Packers.
A late one against the Packers. Yep. Yeah. Did Minnesota win today? They were in a tough game with Atlanta. That game was tied the last I saw it at 21-all.
I'm looking right now. I think we should have a final on that, I would think.
Minnesota.
Let's see.
That's not over. They must still be.
Well, the Eagles game ended so damn early today.
Oh, actually, the Vikings exploded. It's 42-21. That game was tied at 21 all. Basically, I think after 3 quarters.
Yeah, 21 points in the 4th for the Vikings.
Wow.
Still 128 to go.
Okay.
They're just absolutely kicking them now.
So then the Vikings win again. They keep winning.
Yeah. You got a 3-horse race here.
Yeah.
Look, the Vikings and the Eagles, 1 game back of Detroit, who keeps winning. Detroit's got a tough schedule. I know you tweeted it out this week, at Harry May's TU.
Yeah.
They do have a tough schedule remaining, certainly harder than the Eagles. And the Vikings' schedule is not that easy either, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, that home field's going to be paramount.
Yeah, your connection is bad. You keep zotzing out. I don't know what's happening over there. Yeah.
I'll turn the Wi-Fi back on.
Very blurry. Sort of like the Eagles today. A little blurry.
Yeah, a little blurry-eyed today.
A little blurry.
It was unbelievable. But let's take our first time out, and hopefully we'll clear things up a little bit here. Harry's going to tell you about Prize Picks. I'm going to tell you about Hillsdale College right after this.
Oh, that's right, Jason. Prize Picks is the best way to win real money this football season. Which players are going to go off? Which ones aren't? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money all season long right there on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. It's also the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike other apps, on Prize Picks, it's just you versus the numbers. You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. They also invented the flex play, Jason, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect, and you can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. How about that? Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, Prize Picks will discount select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineup. Just download the Prize Picks app today and use the code LOCKEDONNFL and get $50 instantly when you play just $5. That's the code LOCKEDONNFL. Prize Picks. Get $50 instantly when you play just $5, and you don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks. Run your game.
All right, let me tell you about Hillsdale College as well. I'm 52, and I have had a recent resurgence of wanting to learn.
Oh yeah,
I went to I went to college for broadcasting. It's like That's like going to college for donkey riding or something like that. And time's our most precious commodity, so don't waste it scrolling through some mind-numbing content on your phone for hours and hours. And you want a way to educate yourself further at any time in your life? Well, you can do that at Hillsdale College, and for free. They're offering more than 40 totally free online courses. Here's a few. Constitution 101. Maybe you want to learn more about history. Maybe you weren't interested in history at a different part in your life, but you are now. The meaning and history of the Constitution. Introduction to free market economics. I know nothing about economics. I probably should. The Great American Story, A Land of Hope, Rise and Fall of the Roman Republic, all different things, whatever you're interested in. Again, over 40 free online courses. So you got to check it out. Go to Hillsdale's website. All of Hillsdale courses are self-paced. This is perfect because I don't have pace, so that you can start whenever and tune in whenever and wherever you want as well. Plus, you can go deeper with readings, quizzes, discussion, enjoy the lectures. There's so much there. All you need to do is go to hillsdale.edu/lockedon to enroll. Again, there's no cost, and it's easy to get started. Again, the website is hillsdale.edu/lockedon to register, and go there, and you can partake in any of their free online courses. Check it out today. Hillsdale.edu/lockedon. All right, Harry. Let's go to the running back first, because once again, I feel like today he bails them out a little bit because he's been so good. But also what he does, Harry, is he doesn't put too much on the quarterback. I know there's been heat on the quarterback in this town.
Yeah.
And they're comparing his numbers to other guys' numbers. And there's this debate, he hasn't been good enough. I mean, we even got a comment here that Jalen can't play like that on the final drive. And I didn't love his game today, but he doesn't turn the ball over.
No, he didn't turn it over, though.
Yeah, I mean, look, was he the reason they won today? Probably not. Has he been the reason they've won before? Probably. But there's a lot of heat on him. But the running back takes so much on his shoulders right now. There doesn't need to be a ton on Jalen Hurts, and that doesn't concern me.
No, that doesn't concern me at all. The thing that concerns me is, why does it take him so damn long to get A.J. Brown involved in this offense?
Yeah.
He didn't get a target, Jason, until there was a minute 18 left in the first half. That is absolutely inexcusable.
Yep.
Okay? They get off to such slow starts. They're like a 3-and-out machine early on in these games, and I just can't figure it out. Obviously they're 11-2. They're surviving it for now. So I sound like an idiot, but I just can't seem to think that between that and the kicking issue, that something's going to come up and bite this team.
Well, the thing is, you had no Goeddart today, so you got Grant Calcaterra.
Yeah, I'm done with Goeddart too. Okay,
Yeah,
I was
he's never available.
I'm done with him. You do not re-sign him. He's never available, like you said. And I had visions of the Penn State tight end somehow slipping in the draft to the Eagles. Wouldn't that be unbelievable if Warren could be in Eagle Green? Just keep his number 44 and let him go.
And you can use him in so many different. You could use him in fullback formation.
He could throw the football for you. He was a quarterback. Yeah.
Left-handed too,
Yeah.
Harry.
Yeah.
Tyler Warren. He's unbelievable.
Well, I was fantasizing last night as James Franklin was losing another big game, but man, wouldn't that be great? But I'm just done with Goeddart. He's never around.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I always say it. The greatest ability in sports is availability.
Right.
If you're not available, it doesn't matter how good you are. He seems to just constantly get dinged up. But go back to the lack of targeting A.J. Brown. Like, I don't get it.
I don't either.
Because he's a possession receiver. You're trying to establish your offense early in a game. I would think you'd go to him. I think you'd go to two guys right out of the gate. I think you'd go to Saquon Barkley to establish the run, and you go right to A.J. Brown, your most sure-handed receiver and a possession guy that can fight for balls and do everything.
I agree. I don't get it. I just don't. I don't know if these plays are called and AJ is the first option and Jalen just looks real quick. He's not open. Boom, he's already onto the net. I don't know.
He was open a couple times, but he didn't look at him.
Yeah, that guy finds ways to get open, and even if he's not open, he's open. You know what I mean?
50-50 balls. He's going to win next. He's so strong.
Right, just because of his ability to fight for the football. So that bothers me. The kicking is really a concern because they showed a camera shot of Elliott after he missed the field goal when Carolina jumped offside. No, it was the extra point because then they ended up going for 2. The look on his face was something that really concerned me. Like, he is really messed up.
Yeah, the body language.
Yes,
and
like
reading it. Yeah.
He has no idea what's going on and why he's missing these kicks. Like, it's a problem.
He's like old Brizgalov back in the day when he said he was lost in the woods. He had no idea where his game was.
Lost in the woods.
I like in Siberian woods.
Yes.
He was totally lost. And when a kicker loses that, Harry,
right?
Like that evaporates. It's gone.
It goes fast. It can go fast. It's like me on the tee. If I have a two-way miss off the tee, you're just like, oh boy.
Yeah.
I'm missing right. I'm missing left.
Yeah, and your whole round is now screwed because the thing between your ears is
right.
Total gong show.
Exactly.
But yeah, I am really concerned about that because the kicking because of how it affected this game. They got away with it because if you can't trust the kicker to nail you a 53-yarder on what was a good weather day at home.
Yeah, beautiful day for this time of year. Yeah,
and you had to try and draw them off sides on a 4th and 8, and then took the penalty and then pin them deep to get the win. Like, that's concerning. That's he last year. I think he was at 5 or 7 outside of 50 yards last year.
Yep,
he's 0 for 5 this year.
I know it's crazy. You
got to bring somebody in, Har.
He was like automatic last year, basically.
Yeah.
From a long kick, you didn't worry about it. It was like, all right, we're inside the 45 here. We're going to guaranteed 3 points. That's not the case right now, so that's a problem. Can he get it back? Yeah. There might be a technique issue, might be something, just something weird going on, but that could be a problem in January. They got to fix that.
To me, we're a little too close to January. But again, you got to find the right option. If it's not him, then who is it? And if there's a guy available, why is he available?
Right.
Because he ain't that great.
Well, yeah, all these kickers, they all lived like in a Red Roof Inn by the LaGuardia Airport, and they're all just sitting with a bag packed, ready for the phone to ring. They jump on a flight, boom, they're there.
Kicker for hire.
Exactly. Now, did you see this stat? I thought this was amazing. Adam Amin, who I think does a pretty good job with the play-by-play. I like the crew today. Him and Sanchez are good together. Mark Sanchez is actually pretty good.
Yep.
Saquon Barkley, of course, he leads the league in rushing, but his second half rushing numbers are good enough for 4th in the NFL. Is that insane or what?
That's ridiculous. They also brought up the average yards per carry is about 4.4, 4.5.
Yeah.
He's at like 7.5.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Those are college numbers.
When you get those big 70-some yard runs, that really helps your yards per carry.
Yeah, that jumps up the average.
Yeah.
But look, I thought the announcers today were great as well.
Yeah.
Sanchez did a good job because he lent to some, having some playing time in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought they did a really good job. It was like kind of a fresh feel.
Yeah.
It wasn't the A crew, but it wasn't Chris Myers.
No. They're probably about fourth on the totem pole, but that doesn't matter. Amin does a good job. And Sanchez actually is very self-deprecating. He made fun of himself early in the game, referencing the butt fumble that he had on Thanksgiving years ago, because Jalen Hurts, I think, Jalen Hurts ran into his guard and didn't fumble the ball, and he made mention. So it's good that he's got that sense of humor about it, because that's a very embarrassing play.
And that's like the thing. If you put Mark Sanchez's name into YouTube and search, the first thing that comes, Mark Sanchez, butt fumble.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, exactly.
At that point, just embrace it.
Exactly.
Like, don't try and deny. And he does, and good on him. Former USC quarterback. You wouldn't think they would do that, Harry. They tend to take themselves very seriously.
That's right. Oh yeah. How about the Jalen Carter? I got to bring him up each and every week, even though he wasn't, his name wasn't mentioned a lot, but he snuffed out a screen pass in that second half on 2nd and 8, and just took him down for about a 4 or 5 yard loss
when he ran down the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. He's smart.
Can't do that at that size. Like, that's insane.
He's amazing. Yeah, he's great.
But again, my guy Zach Bond.
Yeah, I mean, big sack early in the game.
Yep. I think he's got 3.5 on the year now, which is a career high for him. Yeah. And I know that this past week I saw a tweet that somebody put up his numbers through however many games it was versus Luke Kuechly's Defensive Player of the Year numbers. And Bond's numbers were all higher than Kuechly's in his DYOP year.
Wow. So Kuechly, of course, with the Carolina Panthers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we know how Kuechly was an absolute, just all over the field.
Yeah, he just had a bunch of concussions, if I remember that. I think that might have what ended his career. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, he's a really good player. But how about the first quarter numbers here for the Eagles? 2 first downs. They had 0 passing yards. 0. 46 total yards, and a couple of those were late on the final possession in the first quarter by Saquon, where he ripped off a couple of decent gains, and only had 12 plays in the first quarter.
Unbelievable.
It is really unbelievable.
And then you see the stat where they have 47 points. They had 47 points when they showed the stat today in the final 2 minutes of the first half.
Mm-hmm.
The only team that has more is Baltimore at 54 points in the final 2 minutes of the half scored, and the Eagles had like 47. It's like, why is this? We'll talk about that coming
up. Weird. It's weird.
Yeah, I want to talk about that.
It's an anomaly.
I don't know that it's an anomaly.
No?
It's a trend at this point. All right, we'll come back. We'll talk about that back after this. All right, let me tell you about FanDuel, because if you're watching the game, you want to get action in. You want to watch the game and get the action at the same time. You don't want to miss any of the action. If you're putting action on the game, you don't want to miss the action, because that's how you cash in on what you're feeling about the game. You got to go to America's #1 sportsbook, FanDuel. You get a hunch in the middle of the game, check out the latest stats, view the play-by-play, and much more on the same page where you select your bets. Now, you're going to get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. And if you think your team or the team you're watching has momentum, you think they're going to score, well, then put your money where your mouth is. You can live bet it as you watch. You really can get a great feel of the game. FanDuel's made it easy so you don't miss any of the action. It was the one thing I was always kind of skittish about with in-game betting was now I'm missing the game because I'm scrolling through my phone. No, now I can do both at the same time. I can multitask. So with FanDuel, it's not just straight bets and parlays, live in-game betting and all. It's all there on FanDuel.com. And you can see all the odds on opponents and everything. So get in on the action. Get in on the game while you watch the game. What could be better? It's FanDuel.com. Visit FanDuel.com. And like I said, you'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Again, check it all out at FanDuel.com. All right, let's dig in on these slow starts, because while they have not been an issue in this regular season and they've rattled off 9 straight, they're 11-2.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of that also is that their opponents have not made them pay for the slow start.
Right.
When you start, if you have an opponent in the playoffs in a do or die that makes you pay for the slow start by putting you behind by 7 or 10, now you have to call a far different game.
Well, I mean, let's just look, for example, Detroit. Let's say they have to go to Detroit in the championship game. And they get out to one of these slow first quarters where they've, 10, 12 plays and 2 first downs. Detroit could have 21 on you in that first quarter, and the game's over.
Yeah, you got 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes of time of possession.
Yeah.
You could be eating it at that point.
Exactly. So
this is something I don't know where to point the finger of blame, though.
I don't either.
That's part of, that's something I'd like the media to ask during the press conferences this week.
Yeah.
Are these the scripted plays in the first quarter? Are you scripting just the first drive?
Yeah. I don't.
Who's scripting those? Sirianni or Kelly?
Right. Who's calling those plays? Because every now and then when things go well, the head coach likes to let everybody know that, he's still involved in the play calling.
Yeah.
But then when things don't go so well, he doesn't want to take ownership of it.
Yeah, when we have the ball in offense, I'm in Siberia.
Right.
What do you want from me?
But I don't know. When are the coordinators? Are they available to the media early in the week?
Like Wednesday and Thursday. Yeah, like Vic Fangio, he spoke last week, and Kellen Moore will become available as well.
Yeah, but I mean,
I'd like to ask the head coach.
Well, I mean, I'd ask the coordinator too, because the quarterback isn't going to say squat.
Nope.
He's
not going to give you
anything. He's not going to crap on anybody when you see him.
He's just going to say we need to execute better.
Yeah, he'll probably take ownership of it himself.
Yep, absolutely.
That's kind of what he does, which is great. But you look over the looks on him on the sideline. I'm telling you, he looks like he's in a trance sometimes. Yeah. He's just like out of it.
Yeah, I don't get it.
And I know he's engaged in the game, but it's just his way. It's just so crazy.
There's almost an aloofness to it.
Yeah.
But you're worried about the kicker. I'm worried about the kicker as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not freaking out yet.
No, but
I am worried about that because of how it can affect the play calling, especially late in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then the slow starts. Like I'm kind of getting a little ahead of myself and worrying about the playoffs 5 weeks before the playoffs come.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're going to make it, obviously. But I look at it, I go, this is something that over this final stretch, I think they need to figure out.
Yeah. Outside of Pittsburgh next week and Washington the week after on the road, they've got 2 good games and 2 easy games.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, the Giants are losing again today. They were losing, I think, 14-11 to New Orleans. I mean, they
nailed
lost
it 14.
in.
It's a final.
They've mailed it in.
2-11. They suck out loud.
Yeah, they really do. And Dallas stinks. So, they got 2 big games coming up here these next 2 weeks.
Yeah, and the Steelers got a 27-14 win
against Cleveland today.
Yeah, against Cleveland.
Okay.
Winston threw for 212 and 2 touchdowns. But yeah, so Pittsburgh's coming in here 10-3. I think it's a fun week when Pittsburgh comes in and both teams are good. Was it the Super Bowl year where the Eagles played them and got just crushed by them?
I forget.
That was their first loss that year. It was like 9 games in.
Oh yeah,
and they just and Pittsburgh just kicked the teeth in them.
Yeah, I think you're right. You're right about that.
It's a fun week when you have the 2, the Keystone State battle with those 2 teams. So I'm looking forward to that.
The problem is that game's at 4:25, and so is Detroit against Buffalo, which is another possible Super Bowl preview. And it's on the same time the Eagles game, so I won't be able to watch both of those.
So those are like the 2 combinations. Like you could see the Eagles getting to the Super Bowl, maybe against the Steelers.
Maybe against Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Or Detroit getting to the Super Bowl, maybe again. I mean, come on. Like, that's bad scheduling. They got to flex that out. Don't flex the Eagles out.
No.
Or if you flex them earlier.
Yeah, and the night game stinks. It's like Seattle against who is it? Is it Miami? It's some bad game.
Yeah. See, that can't happen.
No, I know.
So week 15, it is the Sunday night game is
Seattle and Green Bay.
Oh, it's not Bears-Vikings?
No. Bears-Vikings is Monday night. There's 2 Monday nights again that week.
2 Monday night stuff.
Yeah, that's a joke, too.
Ridiculous.
They've got too many network partners to play.
Many mouths to feed.
And there's too many nights where there's games on. Like, the focus should still be Sunday. But you can't have both of those big games on at the same time.
Yeah.
It can't happen.
It should not happen. Absolutely. I totally agree with you.
Who makes the schedule here? The camera?
Yeah. It's just people not showing up. It's a big mess. Anyway. All right. Eagles Steelers next week. We'll have the Locked On Eagles postcast after that game. And that's going to be a tough one. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I'll take some time this week to kind of digest what we saw this week and see how they answer some of these questions regarding the kicker and regarding the slow starts. Thanks for making Locked On Eagles postcast your first listen. And for your second listen every day, go find the new Locked On NFL Now with 2 shows every day. First, the Madman Tyler Rowland kicks off your morning with a double shot of NFL espresso. And then you got the barbershop with Tony Wiggins for some real NFL talk. Find all the Locked On NFL shows on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast. We'll talk to everybody next week. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like, and tell your friends. We'll talk to you next week on the Locked On Eagles postcast.